Okay, let's move on. The first try to understanding about, I'll try to recap what we had yesterday we have discussed. So in yesterday we have discussed about the what is cloud computing, what is cloud computing, and also we have discussing about what is AWS, and we have seen about the how to create instances in AWS. Right, today we'll see that from the scratch again, because we'll see about how we can able to create the secure networks. So when we had a software development team, let's try to understand about today's session. So in today's session, we'll discussing about what is VPC, Virtual Private Cloud, how you are securely deploying any application inside the cloud network. And it is we'll see about what is the difference between public network and public subnets and private subnets. We'll discussing about in the VPC. You will understanding about what is a public subnet, and after that you will see about what is the private subnet. Okay, this is we'll discussing about in subnets. After that, we'll see about the how can we deploy application inside the server. That means whatever the resources you are going to create in the cloud, all the resources we have to create within the AWS. So this is the first session. We're going to start and we are trying to understanding about each and every concept so that see this is very important session because until the end of this training, you have to remember this VPC concept because when you're trying to setting up a cluster in the production level or any organization, definitely we have to understand about what is VPC, what is NAT gateways, what is subnets, what is internet gateways, that everything we have to understand. Let's say now, how can we deploy an application, okay, inside the VPC it is. So this is what exactly we are trying to understand in today's session, okay? So I'll not be go bit faster. I'll try to explain about each and everything very clearly. The first we have to understand about what is minimum network. I just want to hear from you guys. It is general question. Let me ask some questions here. What is network? Yes. What is network?
It's a connection.
Okay. So basically, network is all about the whenever you would like to communicate with one mission to other mission, definitely we require networking. So in the networking, we know that we have different protocols we'll be having, and we are going to use for different purposes. There's a dedicated session where I'll try to explain about the what is network, what are the different types of networks we have, and how we are trying to understanding about each and every network we'll discussing about in the next session. Okay. The first try to understand that what is required and why do you require network. So whenever you would like to communicate with one mission to other mission, definitely we require something. It is called as a network. So here, when you just come to our topic here, when you talk about the VPC stands for the virtual private a cloud. So what is meant by virtual private cloud is nothing but. So let's, for example, I'm a client. I have given requirement to you guys. You have to develop the application and you have to deploy the application to servers. That is what basically will happen, right? You take any organization, we have a software development team, and we have a testing team, and we have QA team. I just take the testing team and we take the operations team, like where they're majorly focusing on deployments, everything. So development team is responsible for the develop application. On top of it, we have architect team, designing team, requirements gathering team. There are other teams will be having, but let's try to focusing about the what exactly software development team will do that. See, software development team will try to develop the code, and that whatever the code they have developed with the software development team, it may be any programming language, that doesn't matter. We got the requirement. Now this requirement we have to understand and we have to understand the stories, and for that we have to implement the code. See, once we have implemented the code, the testing team is trying to test the application, right? So they're going to perform the 100 number of test cases. Like they're going to perform the functional testing, non-functional testing, like where they're going to perform load testing, performance testing, regression testing. Like there are different kind of testings they're going to perform to check that whether my application is how it is working, whether we are meeting the customer requirements or not. This operation team, it is going to deploy the application in the production servers. Before they are trying to deploy the application in the production servers, they'll test the application in the dev environment, they test the application test environment, they test the application AT environment. The finally you're trying to deploy the application in the production environment. Now, so let's, for example, in our case, so whenever you want to deploy any kind of application, it should be a secure, right? So outside people should not hack my application, what I'm trying to deploy in my server it is. So that is the reason only we have to understanding about how we have to create a secure networks in in organizations. See, for example, you may heard about the VPN, right? Whenever you want to access any of the client resources from offshore, onshore means where the client is located. So when the project is outsourced, for example, in a Bangalore, they have given the outsource project. So whenever you want to work for any client, with the client is sitting in US or UK, wherever it may be, whenever you want to access any of the resources which going to provide by the client, if they want to access their tools or you want to log into their environment, which is going to provide information and where you're trying to write all the code, whenever you want to perform all these things, first our TL or team manager ask us to connect the VPN first. So when you're going to connect a particular VPN, then only we can access the internet, then only we can access the all the tools what environment provided by the my client. So we had to work in the client environment. So definitely we had to connect the VPN. The same way in a cloud, we have to understanding about what is meant by VPC it is. See, when I talk about a cloud is nothing but it is an infrastructure, right? Where it is located different location. So let's, for example, you take the AWS, Amazon Web Services, when you talk about the regions. So every region contains one data center. Whenever I say data center, it is nothing but how they have the set up the physical servers over there. Now, this is my AWS Cloud Data Center. The region, let's, for example, Mumbai region it is. So now when we have this Mumbai region, I would like to deploy my application in the Mumbai region. So what I can do, I'm not going to own the entire data center. So what I can do, I'm just going to own in a small part. This is what we can call as a virtual private cloud it is. So let's say, for example, I got a job in Bangalore. I want to move to the Bangalore location. So I just, for example, I would like to decide to stay in a 1 BHK house. Basically, when I go to searching for any rooms, let's, for example, I found an apartment. In apartment, I'll go to one to let board. See, this apartment represent the AWS cloud data center. So in this apartment, I'm not going to stay in all the rooms, right? I need only one room which is suitable for me with 1 BHK requirement. So wherever I'm going to fit, wherever my requirement is got fulfilled, I'll choose a particular room. The same thing here. This is like apartment where it contains number of rooms. So every client they are going to create one VPC. Within the VPC only they are going to deploy the applications, whatever they required. Okay, that is what basically we have to understanding about what is meant by the general understanding about the VPC. VPC stands for the virtual private network. So try to understanding about first what is VPC, and we'll see about how practically we are going to create a VPC, and we'll discuss about the how to create the subnets everything. So let's first try to understand about what is VPC it is. See, VPC stands for the virtual network dedicated to your AWS account. It is logically isolated from other virtual networks in a AWS cloud. So logically isolated means isolated nothing but it is a unique environment which they are going to provide to you, the AWS people, nothing but Amazon Web Services. See, let's, for example, if you go to office, everybody have their own cabins. So when you go with everybody have their own cabins, like we can sit our cabin where we can able to access the resources, whatever we have in the particular cabin. For example, we have a drawer. We can just in a drawer, we can able to keep the things what you belongs to, and we can able to lock your drawer and can go back to your home. Again, when you come back tomorrow, we can open and we can able to take whatever you want. See, if you take that floor like a AWS cloud, the region, in that region you are going to sitting on a single place. It is what we can call as a isolated location. The same thing we have to understand here. It is logically isolated from other virtual networks in the AWS cloud. we can specify from IP address range for the VPC, add subnets, gateways, associated security groups. Subnet is a range of IP address for your VPC. See, because if you look at every mission has different IP address. Every website has different IP address. That means all the websites, it is going to work in different environments. So for example, when I just go to the command prompt, when I open the command prompt here, and here they'll ask you that. Let, for example, when I use www.google.com it is. So when just hit the enter, when I ping this IP address of the Google, you can look at here type address given different, right? When I go to here, www. When I'm pinging this flipkart.com it is. Ping the flipkart.com. Now once you hit the enter, see you're getting different IP address. So every website has different IP address which is running, right? This is what basically we have to understand. VPC means every VPC has unique IP address. We have to understand this point. Now we'll see about how we can able to set the VPC for your organization. So let's say, for example, now first we have to log into the AWS. I'm just logging into the AWS account. When I log into the AWS account, next we have to go to the click on the sign in. So everyone has to create AWS account. I'm just reminding one more time. You wanted to learn the entire course will be everything is a practical oriented. So we have to create the AWS account. Without creating your AWS account, we can't able to practice any of the sessions. So click on the next here. I'm just going to provide the password. Let me provide the password here. Click on the sign in here. I'm just logging to my AWS account first. Now first, you look at the services. When you look at the services here, before we are trying to perform this, we have to choose a region, in which region you want to perform. So I'm just going to select the region. It is called as the Mumbai region. It is AP-South-1. And we have to go to the services. Under services, we have to come to the network content delivery opportunities. This is nothing but networking and content delivery. And here we have to go to the option. It is here we have see that there is an option called VPC. It is showing about isolated cloud resources. Cloud resources means when you are going to creating virtual missions, when you're creating networking load balancers, or you're creating application load balancers, you do whatever you want, but everything we have to do within the VPC. Now it is going to manage everything in a secure network. Now first, let's see how do you going to create. What we can say first, if we go to VPC, your VPC is here. The first we have the default VPC. Don't delete the default VPC, which is reflecting over here. Okay. Now we had to go to the option number, click on create VPC here. When I click on create VPC, this part I'll talk about later, VPCs and more. This part I'll talk about right now. See, VPC is a isolated portion of the AWS cloud, populated by the AWS objects such as Amazon EC2 instances. See, isolated portion is nothing but I told you that where exactly you are going to manage all the resources in the unique location in the AWS cloud it is. Now here we had to provide the VPC and here we had to provide the VPC name it is. See, create only the VPC resource or VPC other networking resources. This will take time to understand. Now first try to understand about the point by point, step by step it is. The first go to the name. The name of the VPC, it could be like, I can provide whatever it may be. So I'm just going to provide the client technologies here. TCHNOLOGS client technologies. That is nothing but my VPC name. Now here, look at here, IP4 CIDR block. See, CIDR means classless inter-domain routing. So it is going to assign automatically the IP addresses. So try to understand about what is mean by CIDR. What is exactly it is and why it is going to be happening here. See, CIDR means a classless inter-domain routing. As of now, try to understand about what is the purpose. So we're discussing about IP address classifications when discussing about networking concept, because when you want to become a DevOps engineer, we have to focus on networking. We have to focusing on the Linux. This is a prerequisite we should understanding about to become a DevOps engineer. If we don't understand about networking concept, it's difficult to become a DevOps engineer. And the second point also, we had to get some hands-on knowledge of the Linux commands. So we'll discussing about everything in the sessions. Networking concepts also I'm just going to explain in other two or three sessions. Once we have done with the VPC, we'll discussing about what is networking, what different type protocols we'll be having, what is the purpose, what is IP address classification. That everything we'll discussing about in the going forward sessions. See that an IP address allocation method is that improve the data routing the efficiency in the internet. So it is going to allocating the IP addresses automatically, and we'll discussing about here. First, what I can say, we have to mention about what is IP address range of your VPC. Every VPC has attached one IP address. Let's say, for example, if I'm just going to mention about 10.0.0.0.0, and here, this is what we can call as a subnet mask value. See, when I provide a forward slash 16 means this is what we can call the subnet mask value. Subnet mask value, why we have to keep means how many the maximum number of the servers we can accommodate within your network. That is what it will decide this. See, the maximum subnet mask value, it is a 32. The maximum subnet mask 32. So I have given the 16 here, right? So when you just go to here, 32 minus 16, the equality you are going to get the, sorry, 32 minus 16, you are going to get the, how much it is? 16 you are going to get. So now, how you can able to decide it? So when you calculate the 2 to the power of, I mean to say 2 to the power of 16, you can able to get the value 65,538. If you want to cross verify, so you can just cross verify. Let me just calculate this. If I go to this tab and calculate the 2 to the power of 16 it is. So let's go to here. See, you're going to get the 65,536, not 38. Yes, that means these many servers we can accommodate within the VPC network. It's a very important. It will decide that how many number of instances we can accommodate it in the network it is. So depends on your requirement. We have to keep this IPRCR block it is. I mentioned about 10.0.0.0, 16, we had nothing but IP4CL block. Now here, I have given the 16 right now. So we calculate how many servers we can able to accommodate. Now, default tenancy, we have to understand. I'll explain about when you creating EC2 instances, why we have to go with the tenancy here. See the key tags suggests the key and value pairs. It is showing about name, and the value it is nothing but client technologies. Now we ready to create a VPC here. Now click on the create VPC. So when you click on the create VPC, the VPC is got created. Okay. So when you go to organization level, this is the kind of architectures will provide the cloud architects or your DevOps architect team. So based on this architecture, what we can do, we have to design everything before you are going to deploy your application. You take any organization before deploying any application in the production environment, definitely we have to design this kind of setup. This is what we can call as architect level understanding. So if you want to reach this level, once we have discussing about AWS concept, we'll try to see about how to draw the architecture diagrams. So even if we just go to here, now what we have did, let me go to the draw dot. So because learning concept is not enough, we have to understand about how to understand high level flow of diagrams. So that when you're going to crack an interview, when you're going to join as a DevOps engineer, when you want to work for any organization, it is very easy for you to understanding about all these things. So while learning itself, we have to understanding about how we can able to design the architecture level diagrams. Now what we have did so far, I have did the first I just created the VPC. This is nothing but my VPC. Let me go with the let's try to here search for the VPC. This is my VPC. Let me go to here. Okay. I'll try to make it here. This is my VPC. Okay. So within the VPC, I want to create the a subnet, or let's go to here. This is my VPC which I created. Now what I can do within the VPC, I have to create a subnets. Let's go to here. Now hit the enter it is. Now I'll just try to create one subnet it is. This is my subnet. I'm creating within the VPC. Okay. Now let me create first this option it is. So this we'll discuss about once we complete the VPC networks. See, we have the VPC network. Within the VPC, we have the public subnet. We have the, again, we have the public subnet. And here we can look at here, one is attached to the NAT gateway, one is attached to the network load balancer. This everything you will get some idea when you're discussing about the subnets, NAT gateways, load balancers, internet gateway, everything. And also we'll see the complete architecture. I'll tell you that how to deploy the application, how to register your domain, how we can able to access the application with this domain. So everything we'll discussing about the going forward sessions. As of now, I'm just going to close this image. So I don't want to give the surprise. We'll discussing about later once we're done with all the concepts within the VPC. This kind of architecture will design it is. Okay, fine. Let's move on first. Now we have just created a VPC. Within the VPC, we are creating one subnet it is. Now, how to create one subnet right now? So go to the subnets here. In subnets, there are two types of subnets. So in today's session, we'll discussing about the how to create a public subnets. How to create a public subnets. So whenever you create a VPC, okay, if you go to the route tables, there is a only one route table we will be having. There is a default route table. Now let me create one subnet first. In the subnets, there are two types of subnets we'll be having. One is a public subnet, one is a private subnets. So click on this create subnet here. When you click on the create subnet, we have to select within the which VPC we have to create a subnet. So you can see two VPCs right now in my dashboard. The first we had to select the client technologies. This is the within this VPC only I had to deploy this my application. If we go to the VPC ID, look at this is nothing but my VPC ID. This is the IP address range which I selected here. After that, when you come to here, we have to select something. It is called as a subnet name. It is the subnet name we have to mention here. The subnet name we have to keep whatever you want. Let's, for example, see what is the subnet first. Try to understand before you're trying to create a subnets. Why do you require the subnets? You have to understand. So try to go with the definition and understanding about what is meant by subnet. See, subnet is nothing but a range of IP addresses in your VPC. We can create AWS resources such as user instances in the specific subnet. So whenever you would like to create whenever you would like to create any usage instances, all the usage instances we are going to create within the VPC only. Now look at here. Each subnet must reside entirely within the one availability zone and cannot span the zone cities. So what is meant by availability zone means the data center has divided into the number of availability zones. Right now we are doing everything inside my Mumbai region. Mumbai region contains the 3 availability zones. So within the availability zone only, we are trying to performing all these things here. So when you're discussing about subnet, subnet is nothing but a IP address range it is. So now let's go to here. Every subnet has the unique IP address. By looking at the IP address, we can able to define that which is a public subnet or which is a private subnet. Because every subnet has different IP address. See, if you go with IP4 only, the subnet has IP4 CR block but doesn't have the IP6 CR block. Resource in IP4 only subnet must be communicated over the IP4 it is. So now we are trying to create this IP4 subnet. Let's see how we can able to do it right now. So when we go to my create subnets, first we have to mention about subnets. So if you want to understand high level, let's say for example, we have different servers, right? Application server, database servers we'll be having, and we have web servers. So if you want to segregate the servers, like web servers in one subnet, application servers one subnet, we can able to segregate your servers by using subnets also it is. Now, or if you want to keep all the servers in one subnets also, we can able to keep in one subnet. Now the subnet name, I'm just, for example, I'm just going to provide the, let's go with the client hyphen web it is. So now availability zones, as I said that, look at here, there are 3 availability zones are there in the Mumbai region. Now let's try to understand about what is meant by it is a Mumbai. I'm just going to select it is AP hyphen south hyphen 1. For this availability zone, I'm creating this particular client hyphen web it is. Now again, for this subnet, we have to give the IP address, subnet IP address. So here I'll just give this is nothing but my VPC IP address. Don't change it. If we go to here, this whatever the IP address which you are giving, this IP address should within the VPC IP address what you are giving. So let's say now I'm giving the 10.0 dot, let for example 1.0, and the subnet mask value I'm giving a 24 it is. So when you're giving 24, that means how much it is? You're going to get 8, right? When you subtract 32 minus 24, you're going to get 8. So 8 means how many you are going able to create? We can able to create a 256 IP address we can able to create. You can able to create the 256 IP address we can create, or we can able to accommodate within the VPC. That means it'll start with a 0, 0 to 255, but last 4 IP address going to result by the AWS. That we'll talk about later. Now, as of now, try to understand, we can able to accommodate the 256 IP address within the VPC. Now, what we can do that, I'll just try to see about how we can do it now. And the first, what I can say, go to here, and we had to mention about IP port subnet CR block. It is 10.0.1.0 and when you come down here, we have to mention about what is the name, like what is the key, it is the name, and the value it is client-web, it is name of my subnet. Now this subnet, see that this subnet I'm creating here. Now click on the create subnet, it is. The subnet got created. Now you have created one VPC, you create one subnet. Now what we'll say, for this subnet, what I can do, I'm just going to attach the internet gateway. I'm going to attach the one internet gateway. Let's try to understand about what is meant by internet gateway and why you are going to attach the internet gateway here. Let me pick this. Let me pick here. Let's say what is this is the internet gateway symbol it is. Okay. So now I'm just going to attaching the internet gateway for this VPC for this subnets. Okay. Now what I can do, first try to understanding about what is mean by internet gateway. See why do you are going to use this internet gateway in this. What is my internet gateway in AWS? See, internet gateway provide the a two-way connectivity. See, for example, when you deploy the application inside the server, when you want to access application to the web, like web browser, it should attach the internet gateway here. That means whatever the traffic which is coming towards my application is going to route the traffic to your particular server. So to provide the two-way public connectivity to the application running in the AWS regions or local zones. So internet gateway provide the two-way public connectivity to the application running in AWS regions, local zones. So let's try to understanding about the what is the use of the internet gateway and why do you want to use this particular internet gateway here. So look at here, internet gateway is an AWS component that provides the path of the networking traffic to travel between the virtual cloud and the public internet. So whenever you have deployed your application, if you just look at this diagram, we are trying to deploy the application within the VPC, within the subnet, you are creating one server it is. That means what we do right now, we are trying to creating internet gateway. After that, we are trying to create one EC2 instances within this subnets. Now within this VPC, what we'll do, we are trying to deploy one application within the EC2. That application, if I want to access through the internet, definitely we have to attach the internet gateway here. Definitely we have to attach the internet gateway. So when I go to internet gateways right now, you look at my screen, as of now, we have only one internet gateway we are having, right? So I'm not going to create here as of now. Try to understand. I'll show you that what is the use of this here. So the main objective of internet gateway is nothing but it is an AWS component that provides a path for the networking traffic to travel between the virtual private cloud and the public subnet or public internet. So it acts as a bridge between the two networks. So when you want to connect two networks, definitely we require something. It is called as a internet way. So where we can define the inbound rules and outbound rules. So now what we'll do, now we'll create one instance first. Instance means server I'm going to create within the VPC. I'll deploy application over there. So let's see now how we can do it right now. Go to instances here. The first click on the launch instance. When I click on the launch instance, I'm just going to create instance name. Let's say, for example, it is my web server I'm going to launch. So here I'll give that reference is a VPC. Now, which OS we have to choose? I'm going to choose something. It is called as a Amazon Linux OS. So yesterday we have seen how to create a Ubuntu server. Today we'll discuss about how we can able to create a Amazon Linux server. Now I'm just going to create Amazon Linux server. Now here we have to choose that which OS we required. I say that we have to go to filter eligible. Now when I go to the Amazon Linux here, Amazon Machine Image kernel 5.10. Now here instance type, like how many CPUs, how much RAM we required for your virtual machine. So I'll go with the 1 CPU and 1 GB RAM. That is sufficient for me to practice as of now. And after that, whenever you want to connect your instance securely, we require a key pair, like username, password. So we can use key pair to securely connect your instance. Ensure that you have accessed the selected key pair before you launch an instance. Now click on the create key pair. So we have to mention about the key pair name it is. The key pair name, let's for example, VPC hyphen. I'm just going to provide the VPC hyphen, let's for example, it is a web server it is. Now key pair, this is what we can call encryption algorithm. How it is going to encrypt your algorithm or the password so that hackers may not hack your server. Even they got this key address, it is going to protect by the encryption algorithms. So I'm going to go with this RS algorithm. Here I'll go with this option called as a .ppk here. .ppk stands for the putty private key file. Now click on the create key pair right now. Look at my screen, the key pair got created. Okay, it is in encrypted format. You see that we can't able to understand about what is the key pair it is basically. And when you come down here, we have to go with the network settings. So here, actually the whatever the VPCs which you created, this is what is a crucial role for us. So whenever you want to create instances, and it has to create in a secure networks. Whenever we would like to create a secure networks, first we have to mention about the VPC. Which VPC we have to create a sub instance right now. So I have to choose that client technologies. Now within the VPC, we have something it is called as a, there is a only one subnet that is called a client-web here. Now see every instance you are going to get two IP address. One is a public IP address, one is a private IP address. See public IP address is nothing but when you want, even you delete, whenever deploy application within the and say within the VC2, whenever you want to access the application to the internet, definitely we have to enable the public IP address. So without public IP address, we can't able to expose application outside the network. So even that is what, because you look at my screen, it is going to be auto assign public IP address. It is not a static IP addresses. So whenever you stop the server, when you start the server, every time the address is going to be keep changes. To overcome that, we have a concept called as elastic IP address to create a static IP address for instances that we'll be discussing about later. Now, when you go to the auto assign public IP address, I'm just trying to enable right now because I need IP address for my instance. Now, security groups, nothing but the which traffic has to come to your server that will define this particular security groups. Security group is nothing but a set of firewalls that is going to control the traffic over the instance. See, security group is a set of firewall rules that control the traffic for your instance. See, we had to mention about how we can able to add the rules. So here first, the security group name we had to mention. Let's say, for example, I'm just going to provide the VPC hyphen example is my security group name. After that, Control C, go to your description. I'm just going to provide description. After that, we had to mention about the inbound security rules it is. Now we have SH protocol, which is got enabled. See, whenever you want to communicate from one mission to other mission, definitely we require SH protocol. So along with SH protocol, I want to access the application which I'm deploying inside my EC2 instances. I want to enable the HTTP protocol as well, hypertext transfer protocol. So go to the HTTP protocol. I'm just enabling HTTP protocol. Now here, go to the custom to anywhere and we get here the source. It is going to accept any kind of traffic it is. See that rules with the 0.0.0.0 allow all IP address to access your instances here. So we are trying to enable the HTTP protocol right now. See, there are different options we'll be having. We can restrict. If you want to access within my IP address or if you want to provide the custom IP address to access your application, that we can go with the my custom or we can go with the my IP address. I want to give access to everyone, so that is the reason I'm just giving the anywhere it is. Now, when you come down here, now the storage. how much storage required for your instance. I'm just going to mention about 30 GB. Now the number of instances, how many required? We have required only one instance. Now click on the launch instance here. I'm just going to launching my instance right now. You see that instance is going to be launched. Where the instance is running right now, if you click on view all instances, it will take some time to create your instances right now. So click on this refresh here. It will be a pending status, right? It will take the fraction of seconds to create your instances. It will not take much time. Now, if we'll just go to here, click on the refresh now. So before I'm trying to connecting my instance, I click on the instance ID. Look, you got the public IP address, you got the private IP address, but you don't find the public DNS name. We got the private DNS name. You see that where exactly your instance is running right now. Your instance is running the client technologies VPC. So if we go to subnet ID, look at that where is the in which subnet your instance is running right now. Now what we'll do, we'll connect this instance, we'll try to convert a web server, we'll deploy my application over there, and we'll see that how to access the application to the internet. So whether we are able to do it or not. Click on the connect now. I'm trying to connecting with this EC2 IP address. Let me go to the putty here. See, you can't able to access your instance. Putty here, go to host name, appearance right now. Click on the change. I'm just going to make it 416 is my font size. I'll try to make it 60 seconds and go to SSH here and authorization, credentials. Now we here we had to mention about the key pair VPC-web server. Click on open right now. See whether you are able to access your instance outside the network or not. See, I'm just trying to connecting my instance by using a putty, but see whether you are able to accessing or not. It is giving timeout error. You are not able to access because this instance created within the VPC. That is the reason only you are not able to accessing your instance outside. So when you want to connect this instance right now, look at my steps, what I'm doing right now. So when I go to the VPCs here, go to the network and content delivery. And here, when I go to the VPCs here, yes. If you look at my screen, why you are not able to connect now? If you go to VPC, this VPC having this one subnet, right? If you click on this VPC ID, you look at my screen, this is nothing but my VPC information. And look, it contains the, look at my screen carefully. This VPC we created client technologies. One subnet we created in the API hyphen south there. There's nothing but client hyphen web. It contains the one routing table. You look at my screen. It contains the one routing table, and also it doesn't have any network connections. That means if you go to internet gateways right now, we have only one internet gateway that is for my default VPC. I haven't created any internet gateways for my VPCs. Now, when you go to this option name, it is called as your VPCs. Now click on this VPC ID. Now what exactly we have to do? We have to go to routing table it is. Okay, click on this routing table now. It is going to open the routing table. So first, what is routing table it is? Try to understand. So everything is very, very important. It is going to play a crucial role. See, I had an interview a long back. The very, very first question they asked, the client is, I may say interviewer asking about, he has a Java application. He has a Java application. I want to deploy this Java application in the AWS. Very simple question, but it will tell you that whether you have really experience or not. I have a Java application I want to deploy into the AWS cloud. Can I use EC2 or can I use VPC? So that time you feel that you're deploying application in EC2 instances, but within the VPC, we have to create the EC2 instances. Then only we can deploy application. That means the answer should be VPC first. So every organization, when you're going to working for any project, the very first job is our to understanding about how to create a VPC network for your clients. So now try to understanding about what is meant by a route table it is and why we are going to use this particular route table in AWS. See, route table contain the set of rules called as a routes. Routes means which traffic you are going to allow to your instance to access your application. That is what we can call as a route cities. See, that determined where network traffic from your subnet or gateway it is directed it is. So it is going to tell you that how we are trying to come traffic towards your application. Now we had to enable the route table. In the route table, look at here, it is having only destination it is. Now what we can say, we have to click on the edit routes here. Say click on the add route. So it is asking about the which route we have to enable it. So I had to enable this. I have to go to this 0.0.0 and to which one we have to select here. You see different options we have. We have an instance, we have a internet gateway, we have a NAT gateway, network interface. As of now, we haven't created network and net internet gateway, right? We have just have instance, right? If you go to instance right now, see there is instance name, it is called web server VPC. Within the VPC, we have one subnet. In the subnet, we created web server VPC. It is showing about this. When you want to access, when you want to open the route for this internet gateway, then we have to select internet gateway. When you want to open for the NAT gateway, we have to select NAT gateway it is. So now we're discussing about instance right now. I just want to select the instance here. Now click on the save changes. So previously I'm not able to access my instance. Now let's try whether I'm able to access my instance or not. So go to usage instances here. Now go with the instances. I just want to go with my instance name. Click on go to here, click on the connect. Now here we have to go with the EC2 at the IP address. Let me go to the putty here. I'll go with the putty.exe. Go to host name, appearance, click on the change. We have to make it 14. And here after that, what I can say, we have to go to connection here. And I'm just going to provide 60. I'm just trying to connecting my instance right now. Previously, I'm not able to access because it is secure network. Click on this VPC web server. Now click on open. Okay, just click on open here. See whether you are able to accessing or not. Still, you are not able to access. It is going to give the timeout error. Okay, what we have to do now? Next step. See, we are trying to do that, but we are failing. Why you are failing here? Let's go to here. I'm just going to a route table. Okay. Now what we can do? I have to create the internet gateway first. Let me go to internet gateway now. Now click on the create internet gateway. Here first we have to mention about the internet gateway name. See, an internet gateway is a virtual router that connects the VPC to the internet. To create a new internet gateway, specify the name for the below here. So I'm just going to mention about the Internet Gateway IGW, that is the name. See, I'm just click on the create internet gateway here. So when you create an internet gateway, look at the state here, it is got detached. See, we have to attach this internet gateway to the VPC whenever you want to receive the traffic towards the instances. Go to actions right now. So we have the option called as attach VPC. Now to which VPC you want to attach internet gateway? Client technologies. Now click on the attached internet gateway it is. So when you open this internet gateways, go to internet gateways now. You look at here, client here. This is my internet gateway ID. This is we attach the VPC ID. Look at the who is the owner. When you click on this internet gateway ID, you look at here, this is all the options you're going to get it, right? Now, when you go to routing table right now, now go to your route tables, which created for the VPC. Click on this routing table. Now here we have to make some changes. Now what we can do, click on the 8 routes here. Now we have to select now internet gateway. So now this route I'm waiting right now, I'm just attaching for the internet gateway. Now click on the save changes. See, once you click on the save changes, now the subnet, whatever you created, the subnet is going to become a public subnet. Now, even if I just go to subnets here, okay, this is my subnet name. And if you come to here, if you just come to here, look, what is the route table it is got attached. This is the route table it is got attached. This route table we attach for the internet gateway. So whenever you attach any internet gateway to subnet, the subnet is going to become a public subnet. This simple definition we have to understand. Now I'm trying to connecting my instance here. Let's go to services here. Go to EC2 instances. Now click on the instances now. I'm trying to connecting right now. Let's click on the connect. Here, go to the AC2 at the rate the DNS name. Let me go with the putty here. Let's go to appearance. Let me make it for 16 here and go to the connection. In the connection, we have to provide 60 seconds. Now go to SSH, authorization, credentials, click on the browse. And here we have to upload the key pair it is. Now click on open right now. See, you are able to connecting right now. So previously when I was trying to accessing my instance, I'm not able to do that because it is a secure network. It doesn't attach to any internet gateway. That is the reason only I'm not able to access my instance. Now we'll try to convert this instance as a web server. Type the command called sudo su. Don't bother about the commands. Now I'm trying to install Git first because the source code is available in my GitHub repository. So let me try to type the command called minstall git -y. Hit the enter. It is trying to updating my operating system here. Okay, now let's try to install the web server. I'm trying to install the HTTP web server. So HTTP stands for the Hypertext Transfer Protocol. D stands for the daemon. It is going to work as a web server when it is going to wait for the incoming request. Whenever there is this request comes to my server, it is going to respond to my request. Now first start your server. When you want to start your server, type the command called service httpd. Now type the command called start -y. I'm just trying to starting my server right now. So service httpd start. Okay, you are trying to starting your server. Now, if you check the status of your server, it is running status. It's a running status, active and running status. Now we have to go to the location. Which location we have to go? CD /var www, go to HTML directory. Now here we have to keep all your web pages. Okay, what I can do, I'll try to go back to my home, go to EC2-user. Now I'll try to clone the repository which I have. Clone. Let me provide the URL of my GitHub repository. So I'll go to my github.com. We'll develop one website by using ChatGPT. That I'll do it in the next session. Go to your repositories. Let me go with the test type and we'll create one website by using a prompts because in this course you are going to learning about the ChatGPT. Also, you are going to learning about Kibia. See, Kibia is especially designed for the DevOps engineers. This is an AI tool, Kibia.ai. It is only for the DevOps professionals. Look at here, it is AI for the DevOps engineers. So you should understanding about how to use this Kibia for your DevOps engineers, DevOps platforms. So when you're discussing about going forward like Terraform, discussing about Jenkins, discussing about Ansible, so you'll understand about how we can able to use this Kibia, how to generate scripts, because we don't need to write scripts everything from the scratch. So once we have done with the basics, once you understand the foundations, then we'll try to generate the scripts by using the ChatGPT, by using Kibia. We'll see how we are trying to do the modifications, what kind of environments we have to set up, that everything we're discussing about going forward. Okay. So that is the ease of the QBI it is. This is also we are going to learning about the going forward sessions because we have to understand about how to use this AI for DevOps in the nets. That is the reason only we'll try to learn about how to use this AI tools. Now what I can do, I'm just trying to try the git clone and we are trying to clone the website. Now what I can do, I'll try to copy that files. Let me first go to the directory here. Let me go to test-web app here. I'm going inside my directory where my source code is available. Type the ls command. I'm trying to copy these files. The file name is index.html file, and we have to copy that var www html directory. So here we can look at my screen. It's showing about the no such file we're having. That means the path is wrong. It is www. Here I'm trying to copy that all the files, the source code files in my default location where we have to deploy the application. Now after that, I'll try to go with the contact.html. And here I'm trying to copy that HTML directory. And also we are trying to copy the other documentations. Let's, for example, cloud hyphen the services .html. This is nothing but other source code again we have. Let's try to copy that. Now my server is having all the source code. Let's see now how we are trying to access your website. Go to instance ID. Now we have to go with the public IP address. Now if we go to here, the port number it is 80. Once you hit the enter, check whether you are able to accessing your application or not. See, it is running in my VPC and look at my screen. We are able to accessing or not. When I click on the cloud services, look, this page is displaying right now and we are able to access. So again, when you just go back to your home page of your application, now hit the enter. If we go to contact us, we can able to see your application. So this is a static application, but when you're discussing about ODS, we'll see about how to connect to database as well. So that I have just deployed the application in my VPC within the subnet. I'm trying to accessing. Even you guys can able to access this application. I have given the URL in the chat box. Check, are you guys able to accessing the application or not? Could you please confirm in the chat? Yes, everyone can able to access. See, even though when I deploy the application, the secure network called VPC, within the VPC, when I deploy the application within the subnet, you are able to access because of the internet gateway. See, whichever the subnet got attached to the internet gateway, that subnet what we can call the public subnet. So there we have added the route table and we have defined the which topics we can able to accept your application. That is what we have seen it is. That's what basically we have to understanding about how we can able to design the VPCs. See, in today's session, we have discussed about the how to create a VPC, how to create subnets, and how to create internet gateways, how to add the routes. And within the VPC, how to create the EC2 instances. Look at this architecture team. So this is what we have done the step-by-step process. So we have the created first VPC subnet. Within the subnet, we created EC2 instances here. Now within the EC2 instance, what we had done, we attached the internet gateway and that we are able to access with the public IP address, right? So when you use the public IP address, you are able to access the application what we have deployed inside the server. This is what basically we have to understanding right now. So anyone have any questions here?
So whatever the VPC are resources created, right, EC2 are all specific to the region, right, Murli?
Yes, sir. It
Okay.
is a region specific. If we go to any cloud, like if we go to the AWS or if we go to the GCP or if we go to Azure, whatever we are doing, it is a region specific.
Right. So when we create an instance, right, so we have a public IP and private IP, right? The
Yes.
private IP is within the subnet, correct?
Yes.
So then why do we need a private IP? Because it is already assigned a public IP, right?
See, public IP address is through that we can able to access the applications through the web browsers.
Okay.
Or we can say that whenever you won't like to access the application to the internet, we require the public IP address because public IP is going to generate it dynamically. That means if you want to, we just, for example, if I stop my server, it is going to stop my server. The IP address keeps changing. It is. So, for example, if I go with the private IP address, what is exactly me? What is the use of the private IP address? So, whenever we like to querying this VPCs with, I mean, say one instance, other instances within the VPC, definitely we require the private IP address. For example, if I'm trying to setting up the infrastructure by using Ansible, for example, I'm creating one server. Whatever I'm doing in the server, I would like to copy it or I want to automate that. So that time what we'll do, we'll try to go with the private IP addresses. So it is like, how we are trying to access your instances privately within your VPC. In that cases, will go something it is called the private IP addresses.
Okay, you mean within the subnet accessing the different resources.
Yes. Like, for example, we have a team of 5 members. Let's, for example, I'm a system admin. I would like to do some configurations. Whenever I would like to do configurations, or when I want to perform the automation, or when I want to copy some files, or when I want to do something, it is so that in cases what we'll do, we'll use the private IP address, not the public IP addresses.
Okay, so the automation part. Okay.
Yes,
So
yes.
where do we come that firewall rules? Is it an internet gateway or
It
where?
is comes under the security groups basically. When I go to instance ID, if I just come to here, if I go to security right now, and if you go to security groups, here it will define the inbound rule and outbound rules, like which topic is coming towards application from within the EC2, which topic you are going to sending to the internet. That comes under the inbound and outbound rules.
So this instance is created, right? That basically that firewall rules also we have a one VM mission where we can install the firewall, right? So that firewall is sitting on internet gateway or somewhere else.
Right now, we just created the internet gateway, right? So it is sitting on the internet gateway.
Oh, okay, firewall rules is part of the internet gateway.
Yes. Within the VPC, security groups we created, the security group we attached to the internet gateway.
So all security related information is part of the internet gateway then.
Yes, within the VPC.
Okay, that's where it is a secured environment for the VPC.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Thanks, Murli.
Yeah. Others, anyone have any questions? So anyone, first time you're learning this AWS cloud, don't worry about it. If you have any concerns while practicing, you are not understanding anything, you always feel free to ping me in my WhatsApp number. I have given my WhatsApp number. This is my the WhatsApp number. When we have, because we are trying to creating one group, WhatsApp group, those who are registered with us, those who are done with the payments, we are creating one group. In the WhatsApp group, you guys can able to ping what are the questions you have. I'm available whenever I'm available. I'll try to reply your questions. Okay. If anyone still don't have my contact number, you can guys take here and you can contact through this number. I can able to take up your questions, everything. Okay. So in tomorrow's session, we'll see about what is meant by private subnets. We'll see about the what is NAT gateways. What is the difference between private subnet and the public subnets that we'll discuss about in tomorrow's session. Okay. Yes. Thank you very much for joining. I'll catch you in tomorrow's session, guys. Thank you very much.